we'll have multiple parent meetings. Our booster club also sets up, we get emails for all of our parents, so there's a constant communication of here's what's going on, here's what practice is going to look like. I think that one of the best things a young coach can do is set up that line of communication so that the parents are really well aware of what you're trying to get done. We have a spring parent meeting in which I go over all my expectations of the summer. We put a parent handbook together. It's one of the sharpest things that we've done. I stole it from a guy from Minnesota who I thought, oh, that was an awesome idea. And so we literally put in a paper form all of our expectations, from players to timing to here's our concussion and return to play protocol, here's our heat and hydration things, everything that you could possibly imagine as part of a program is in our parent handbook. And we gave that out in the April meeting. So what that does is, I think it eliminates a lot of questions about what you want to do. Some other things that we've done, we've had some kids who play football have diabetes, juvenile diabetes. We do a couple things with the juvenile diabetes and their fundraisers. Our seniors go out. It's a golf outing. They work the holes, helping to sell things. So we try to take on something that's significant to our kids. We've done with Riley's Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis, we've done some things where we've gone down at Christmas time and helped pass out mini footballs with some of our senior kids. There's Camp Riley, which is just south of Indianapolis, where kids can go, handicapped kids can go for a week. And we had our senior kids go down and help unload their cars and get them settled in their cabins. These are all outreach things. We've done the typical, we've done the pink out games as well. We do those things for breast cancer awareness. So each year we kind of try to take something a little bit different to be to take on whatever, maybe our theme is for the year, for example. The last 2 years has been our juvenile diabetes. That's kind of been our philanthropy, if you will. I promote football in the hallway, but I don't promote football on the PAs or a lot of announcements. I really try to fly low under the radar, and I try to build from a grassroots sense. I think that's, again, we're in a situation where we get a lot of publicity anyway, and I keep a low key, and I try to get my players to keep that humble, low-key atmosphere or approach in our classrooms so that there's an appreciation amongst the teachers and the administration of the way our kids act. And I think that's probably as big a thing as I work on, that our teachers in our building know that if little Joey's getting out of line, all they got to do is say, you know what would Coach Strife say? I really hope that we teach our kids how to handle winning and how to handle losing. Some things that I've done administratively before is we've had Teacher of the Week, and the Teacher of the Week comes to practice with us, rides the bus to the games, and down on the sidelines, sees exactly hands-on. I've chosen some teachers because I want to pull them in to find out, hey, yeah, it's football, and football kind of has that whatever stereotype you want, the big ogre, whatever, but there's some things that we do that we're really trying to create young men here. And that's kind of our sole, that's really our sole purpose. It's the Joe Ehrman theory that, hey coach, how'd your team do this year? I don't know. In 10 years we'll find out when they're good husbands, good employees and such. My offensive coordinator left last year, went to one of the other Catholic schools down the road and finished state runner-up in 3A. So we're excited. We're excited when that happens. We're sorry to see him go because of the process and the things that those individuals bring to the program. But that's part of it is trying to find replacements. And usually we're grooming that next guy coming up. My defensive coordinator right now started as an assistant freshman coach, became the head freshman coach, moved to the varsity defensive backs, then became the defensive coordinator. We try to promote from within. And so when I bring a freshman coach in, they're usually pretty young, they're usually pretty raw, but by 3 or 4 years into the system now, they're ready to move up. I've got a young freshman coach that's our defensive coordinator at the freshman level, and he's the next guy that's going to come into the varsity, be a linebacker coach or wherever it's going to be the next time somebody moves, and they will because of success. And he even knows. He knows that he's the next guy sliding in. The next guy waiting to be the next defensive coordinator knows and works hand in hand. And it's almost like they all understand that that's, okay, here's the ladder to success. if you will, that you're headed towards. And we have some guys. I've got a linebacker coach at the varsity. He is very content to coach linebackers. That's his gig. He likes it. He loves it. He loves the kid, and he's really good at it. And so he's content, and I'm okay with him in that spot. And we understand each other on that. So I would say that is part of the hiring process, and I think that's just part of the culture that's been built in, that you're not going to walk in and run the whole show from day one. I'm going to ask him about his playing days, how he felt about his coaches, kind of getting an idea of where he's coming from how he's been coached. I'm going to spend some time trying to get some background to see how he relates to people, the ability to build relationships. So if I'm a young coach interviewing with me, those are the things that I would really talk about. The questions that I would ask as a young coach is, what kind of expectations do you have as me as a coach? What things are you going to look for me to do on the field, off the field? What would be my film responsibilities? Those are all kinds of things that, going through steps and stages, that's your learning curve to get you to where you want to be, whether it be offensive coordinator, head coach, whatever it might be. We've had to shuffle guys at different times. We've had to move guys from one spot to another and to ask them to do some different things, particularly, probably most so on the freshman level, but we do that at the freshman level so they end up learning more spots, so that now they become more able to plug in at the varsity at spot A or spot B. We've been really fortunate. We've had some great staff stability. With a young head coach, you need to work with your principal. And don't bring them guys that aren't good guys. They may be great coaches, but they're gonna have to be great teachers as well. And I really I emphasize when I go in, I go, hey, I brought you this guy. For example, the guy that's done the last 2 graduation speeches is a guy I brought in. The guy that's now the science department head is a guy I brought in and recommended. So you gotta bring in the right guys that's gonna be a school guy, but also be a good football coach for you. We do go to clinics. We're big with the Glazier clinics. We go to the national convention, AFCA convention every year. One of the things I really try to do for my coaches, because we don't pay a lot at Catholic school, but I'll take them to the national convention. So if we go to Dallas, for example, for the national convention, we invite their wives. If their wives want to go get with them, we'll get them in their own room. Now they pay for their air flight, but we'll go down, we do a couple nice meals, whole staff, just so that they understand that there's an appreciation of what I know. I don't pay you. I know I don't pay you nearly enough, but maybe I can take care of you on this side of it. We don't do a lot of staff retreats, but we have a lot of great conversations when we're at a clinic. Here we are, we're working on 6 out of the last 8 state championships, but we've totally revamped our offense. There's that S curve that you gotta, as you start to get coming up, you've gotta reamp it again, and I think it's one of the things our assistants are really good, and I turn them loose and let them go, that, hey, we need to change this. This is fixed. We don't try to rest on our laurels. And I would say that's one of the biggest things. I can teach and coach you the football part of it, the technique that I want you to learn. I can do that. I can do that one-on-one with you. But if you can't communicate that, then we're wasting time. We're wasting our time. And so really with my young coaches, I spend a lot of time with them on teaching them how to build a relationship with kids. And again, there's that fine line. You're not buddy-buddy with them. You're not their friend, you're their coach. And there's a line there, and you need to make sure you stay on that side of the line. You can build relationships that's adult-student relationship that is appropriate without being buddy-buddy, and the kids will actually respect you more for it. The flip side of that then is, I would say, anytime you see something that needs to be done, Coach, I'll take care of that for you. What do you need done? I can do that. And I got my assistants are really, really good about that, about, hey, Coach, you want me to take care of that for you? Yeah.